All right, so the title of your notes will be Section 3.11 Intro, the Introduction to Positive and Negative Integers. Positive and negative integers. So what are integers? What are integers? Well, first off, when we see a negative sign, it means opposite of that number. So when we see a negative sign, it means the opposite of that number. An integer is a positive or a negative number that is not a fraction. For example, note two numbers are opposite when they are the same distance from zero. So two numbers are opposite when they're the same distance from zero. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see what this looks like. For example, when you see a number line, and we always draw our number lines right on that line on your paper because it's straight. All right, we always start at 0. All right, then we'll just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and label. And then we go back, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. Okay? And then let's just say our integer is 5. So we just plot 5 right there in the number line. Okay? And we know the distance from 0 to 5 is 5 units. And the opposite of 5 is -5. And we know from 0 that distance as well is 5 units. So we know that -5 and 5, the integers -5 and 5, are opposite because each are 5 units from 0. That's it. So we know that each are 5 units from 0. Okay? And we know on the right side of 0, we know that these are going to be positive and larger numbers. And to the left of 0, we know these are going to be negative and smaller numbers. Okay? Positive larger numbers to the right of 0, and negative and smaller numbers to the left of 0. So when you're looking at integers, there are 3 simple steps to find positive and negative integers. Steps to find positive, negative integers. Okay? There are 3 simple steps. Step 1 is to plot integer on number line. Plot integer on a number line. And once again, an integer is a positive or a negative number that is not a fraction. Step 2 is describe location on number line. Okay, so you just describe the location. That's step 2. And lastly, step 3 is find the opposite. That's it. So step 1 is plot integer on number line. Step 2 is describe location on number line. And step 3 is find the opposite. Okay? So let's see what this looks like. Step 1, and if you haven't already done the hot dog fold on your paper to keep it lined up easier, now's a good time to do that. All right, so number 1, the integer is -4. All right, so your integer is -4. So step 1 just says plot integer on number line. So use that nice straight line on that paper to draw out your number line. And right in the center, place your 0. Okay? And then, so our integer is -4, so we'll just go up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Always label that first tick mark to keep it lined up and organized. And -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Okay? So we know that when we plot that on the number line, we know -4 is to the left, -1, 2, 3, 4, and draw your arc, and we know that is 4 units. Now the opposite of -4 is 4, so place your plot and draw your arc to 4. We know from 0 to 4 is 4 units. So we know the location. Describe the location. So our location, and you can abbreviate with location, we know is 4 units left of 0. -4, the integer -4 is 4 units left of 0. Okay, and then the opposite, well, the opposite of -4 is +4. Is +4. 4 units to the left of 0, and the opposite is 4. That's it. Let's try another one. Number 2 is integer. Integer is 30. Okay, so integer is 30. Step 1 is just plot on that number line. So go ahead and draw your number line. Keep it nice and straight on your piece of paper and find that center point. Okay, and then since 30 is a little bit larger than 4, -4 that we just found, we'll go up by units of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now let's go up to 35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Here's 35. And we'll go down to the negatives. -5, -10, -15, -20, -25, 30, -35. Okay, so we have our number line drawn. Looks pretty good. Now, step 2 is, or rather, just to plot that integer on the line. So we know 30 is positive. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's 30. Okay, and I'll just put a 30 in that color so you can see. And then just draw your arc, and we know that's 30 units. And the opposite would be -30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Here's a -30. So plot that and then draw your arc, and that is also 30 units from 0. Okay, so step 1's done. Step 2 is describe your location. We know the location of 30 is 30 units to the right of 0. 30 units right of 0. And your opposite is going to be the opposite, -30. -30 is your opposite, and 30 units right of 0 is your location. That's it. Let's try another one. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 is integer -16. -16. All right, so your integer is -16. So step 1 is to plot that on your number line. So draw your nice straight number line and the center point 0. Okay, and then since 16 is an even number, we'll just go up by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. And we'll go down -4, -8, -12, -16, -20. All right, so we have our labels, and then just plot it. So we know that -16 is to the left, -4, 8, 12, 16. There's -16, and draw your arc. We know that's 16 units. And then the other, 4, 8, 12, 16, that's your opposite. There's 16, and draw your arc. Okay? Then step 2 just says describe your location. You know the location is going to be 16 units to the left, 16 units to left of 0. 16 units left of 0. And in this case, the opposite, well, you just labeled the opposite. That's easy, is 16. 16 is your opposite, and your location is 16 units left of 0. That's it. That's it. Let's try one more. Let's try one more. Your integer is going to be 85. Integer is 85. Okay? So your integer is 85. Go ahead and draw your number line. Keep it as straight as possible on that line of paper. All right, and then that center point will be 0. All right, so easy numbers to count out by are 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Negative 10, negative 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Up by 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Negative 10, 20, negative 30, negative 40, negative 50, 60, negative 70, and negative 90. We'll squeeze that in there. All right. And then step 1 is just to plot on number line. So 85 is positive. So we go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 85 is right in the center. 85, right in the center between 80 and 90. Okay, and then draw your arc. Draw your arc. We know that's 85 units. And opposite would be negative 85. There's negative 85. Go ahead and draw your arc. We know that's 85 units from 0 as well. Okay? Step 2 just says, describe your location. So what's your location? Well, your location is 85 units to the right of 0. To right of 0. And your opposite is, you already labeled that, negative 85. That's it. That's it. So your location is 85 units to the right of 0. And your opposite is negative 85. Go and try numbers 5, 6, and 7 on your own. Number 5 is negative 27. Number 5 is negative 27 is your integer. 6, your integer is 60. And skip a couple lines, and your integer for number 7 is negative. Integer is negative 125. Go and try numbers 5, 6, and 7 on your own.